3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
Whether you've been married 1 or 20 plus years, at some point, you realized you were married into crazy.
And that's what our podcast is all about. We offer love, laughter, and a dose of reality as we unpack this crazy thing called marriage.
So sit back, relax, and get your ear hustle on. It's time to start the conversation.
All right, let's go.
Welcome to episode 144 of the Married into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey. I'm Lovey.
I'm Snooks.
Why are you laughing?
Because the lady scared me.
She's talking about the lady. It's just because the way that we actually do a recording, it says this is being recorded, and it's pretty loud. But hey, we want to thank each and every one of you for coming back and listening to the Married into Crazy podcast and hanging out with us. We know you have a lot of different choices to make out there, whether it's the radio or other podcasts, what have you. And we're very honored and blessed to really be hanging out with you right now. And so because we always forget, I want to put this in the very beginning. If you're new to the podcast, we are a married couple. We've been married for 24 years, and we've gone through some stuff. Stuff is like in quotation marks, if you call getting stabbed through the heart, a couple open heart surgeries, you get past all that. You think you're supposed to live in happily ever after. And then she asked for a divorce, stuff. We've been through some stuff, but we made it through. The most important thing is that we found a way to really overcome those obstacles, those adversities that go along with every one of our relationships. All of you out there have stuff that you go through in quotation marks. And so what we do is we share what we do, what we've gone through, and we bring you couples and people that have services that can actually help each and every one of us. So we ask that you go to Apple Podcasts, if that's where you're listening to us, and leave a review. We really want you to start leaving a review and put 5 stars or whatever you feel we deserve.
I just put my hand up for high five.
She don't get a high five. She doesn't even like to talk. I was like, she don't even like to talk. Why is she?
Okay. First of all, if you listen to this podcast, you know that it's not that I don't like to talk. It's just that Levy takes over and he talks. And so when I'm trying to get in,
Get in where you fit in, girl.
and so I don't want to look all crazy. And I just let him go,
And then when I sit there and I throw her the alley-oop, she just looks at me like, what?
Because I'm like, oh, now you
No,
want to share?
because she checks out. She checks out. She's like,
what am I wearing to work tomorrow?
see?
I'm just saying.
I guarantee that happens more times than you're willing to admit.
I promise you it's not. I promise. Anyway.
No, so I hope you all had a phenomenal weekend. We
had a fantastic weekend. So I think we've talked about this before. Our youngest had a birthday a couple weeks ago. She turned 18. And this Saturday, she graduated from high school.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, it was. So with a lot of the schools, they did the distance learning, and then I want to say it was a couple of months ago, maybe 3 months or so ago, they decided to let the kids go back on campus. Not all kids went back on campus, and our daughter happened to be one that did not go back on campus. So she was still at home, and she kind of missed out on a lot of her. Well, a lot of kids did, but I feel like with her being at home from March of last year, her desire to really excel, I should say, in all areas, it kind of dwindled a little bit. She did play volleyball this year. But even that she was just like, I'm just kind of here, So when it was time for graduation, she was kind of like, it's not a big deal, but it was. So her and her girlfriend, they went and did some shopping that day. She had a meltdown a couple times because she was supposed to be at the school at a certain time, but they wanted to go take pictures at the friend's house, and it was just all kind of crazy. So finally we get there because she's like, I don't even want to do this, And I'm like, well, we're going. And I had to kind of talk her down and calm her down. But once she got there,
wait, she was talking her down when I was trying to choke her out.
Him and her sister. I wasn't gonna throw you under the bus like that, but
no, it was like WWE. I was trying. Look, me and our other daughter, we were like tagging each other off the ropes because I wanted to like chin check her, And then the other one wanted to jump off the ropes and do like a flying V.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, woo,
But I walked in there
God bless the
like,
mama.
yeah, because I was like, I'm not gonna have that. Everybody better be quiet and go to their own corners. You will not be going trying to go in on my baby. It's her day. And if we're late for her pictures, then we're just late for her pictures. As
Yeah.
long as we get to the graduation on time. I was so mad at them. Oh my gosh, I was so mad at them.
It was
But
about to be one of those like, hey, do you remember the twin? She was nice sometimes. I sure wish we didn't have to kill her. Too bad we had to
no,
kill her on her
yeah,
graduation day.
well, yeah, I would
No,
have been in the jail cell.
man, she was close.
Double homicide. I'm just saying. Anyway, so we get there. It was it was there were challenges even with the graduation. We had different days. They our her announcements had a different day, then they had to change it. And so we had 3 different dates of graduation anyway. So we get to the ceremony, we finally go through it, and it was so cool. Um when they stood up and he was saying, class of 2021, turn your tassels or whatever. The lights in the stadium went out and they had a fireworks show. And I think it's Post Malone, the song Congratulations. Um, my mama called something, something, something.
Yeah, it was like,
Said she
my mama
wouldn't.
saved me from getting
Oh
killed
my
by my
God.
sister and my
Anyway,
daddy.
say now they always say congratulations. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, anyway. And it was just so perfect. It was so I was like, woo! I was crying because it's touching. It was nice. But
I was
so
saying woo too, like woo. We did not
our
have to.
obligation is over.
I
So
was like,
they went, her and her friends went out that night, bowling or something. We ended up going to her friend's house and we stayed at her friend's house. Because the mom invited us over because she had family come in from out of town. We were over there to like what 1:30 in the morning or something.
1:30 in the laughing and
Oh
joking.
my
We
gosh.
had such a good
We
time.
had such a good time. And the next day,
We were like, we're graduates.
I know who are they? So we then Kiki wanted to take her own some different portraits. So we were up early in the morning. We went to the park, got her pictures taken. Then we had her party last night. So we are just like,
It was a whirlwind
oh
weekend.
my gosh, it's crazy.
But you brought up some really good points. Specifically,
About what?
what really stood out to me was how Kiana was having a lackluster weekend, or not weekend, a year.
Come on, what?
No, like a lackluster year. It's like so her entire life from when she was in elementary school through middle school through all the way up through her beginning of her junior year
Mhm.
was like about them grades. She was like, I think she was very competitive with herself. It wasn't about getting better grades than anybody else. She always had to be on honor roll,
Yep.
and the superintendent's honor roll,
Mhm.
or she didn't want to just be on the regular honor roll.
Mhm.
And like when she played volleyball, she was like, every kid hates training for the most part, but she would, play what we call travel ball. Like it's just like playing AEU, or it's a higher level. We played power volleyball, and so she was really intense on being the best she could possibly be. And like her junior year, she made all conference.
MVP.
Yeah,
Freshman year MVP.
so she's always had that in her, and for whatever reason, this whole COVID scenario, it just really doused the flame
Mhm.
that she had for achievement.
That's a good way of looking at it.
And we tried the best we could to not really push her, hold her accountable, of course, because you got to do the work, and you got to have a level of not false pride, but a level of pride in your own work. But the milestones, the things that she enjoyed were, it's like she didn't care anymore.
Well, it's almost, this thought just came to me. I feel like because she stayed home for so long, and this may not be for every kid, but she became used to not being seen. She was very comfortable with, they don't need to see me. I'm behind the scenes kind of thing, you know. Before she was out front, she was
She was an introvert that was out front. She was doing her own thing,
yeah.
her own way, but she's very much the introvert.
Yeah, so but then she became the introvert's introvert, you
Oh,
know.
she became like a hermit.
Yeah, she's worse than me.
And it's interesting because what is that? How does this correlate to our relationships? What's the tie-in? The tie-in is that think about your relationship right now and the things that we've gone through with the pandemic, and now that things are starting to turn and change. Just everything. There's a time and a place for celebration, and you need to celebrate the milestones that happen. Whether it's your kids going back to school, if it's you going back to work, that lackluster feeling of like, oh, it doesn't matter. I don't need the accolades, or I don't need. It's not even about the accolades. It's about taking joy and finding gratitude for the things that you actually have. We've seen our daughter kind of lose that sense of joy
Hmm.
in some of the things that she loved before. She just felt like, oh, it's okay. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. And I think we do that a lot in our relationships where you've been with each other for so long and you've gotten used to each other. You start to take each other for granted, and you start to think, oh, well, it's no big deal. We need to go out on a date. Nah, well, we've been together for so long. Why would we even go on a date? We've
Why are
done
we
that
even
before.
celebrating that? We don't need to celebrate that. It's whatever, you know.
And it really should be the little things, celebrating all the milestones, celebrating all the little things. You know what? We woke up this morning and did you have a good day? I had a good day. Okay, we both had a good day. Let's celebrate that.
Hmm.
We should be coming together to really just really talk about the amazing things that happen every day. But it's funny that the amazing things have lost its luster. The gold doesn't shine as bright as it used to. What would have been amazing 2 years ago is now like, it's not that big a deal, because we get caught up in so many things that are happening around the world that are things that, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying be an ostrich and put your head in the sand, but I do think that you should actually stick your neck out and pay attention and be aware of the things that are just absolutely amazing. And there's a lot about your relationship right now, whether you're married or you're aspiring to be married, that's amazing about what you're going through. First and foremost, there's a lot of single people out there. A lot of single. And if you're right now in the car going, yeah, well, I wish I was one of them, then shame on you. Stop saying that.
Come on, isn't that what you said? No, I was
Don't be
playing.
putting that out in the universe. No, but it's one of those, there's a lot of single people that are like, man, I wish we know people. There's people right now that we know that listen to the podcast, that follow all of our social media, that are actually single, and they're trying to gather nuggets, and they love the interviews, and they write us and they tell us, side note, we need to get back to reading, going all the way back to the very beginning and reading the reviews and the
Oh, the
messages and all
emails
that.
and
Yeah.
stuff.
And start doing that, to share what other people are saying. But we have people that write in all the time that talk to us. I'll even get texts and messages saying, "Oh, I'm not married, but I really like this information." Da, 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 da. And they'll go into it because they're longing to have what you have. They're longing to have a person that can come home and bounce things off of, no matter how trivial. And we need to celebrate these things.
Well, it's funny you say no matter how trivial. Well, what's trivial to me could be a big deal for you, and vice versa. So we should never just be like, oh, that's just so. Oh, all he did was, well, that little all he did thing in what was small in your eyes, he may have spent all day thinking about it, trying to prepare it, trying to get it just right. And it may be seem small, but there was a lot of work that went into it. Someone made a comment, and I just kind of want to tie this into, like you said, about relationships. Someone had made a comment about a person that graduate. There was a graduate,
Mm.
and they actually were graduating from a junior college. They got their AA in junior college, and this person made a comment and was like, "Well, we ain't celebrating that. When they graduate from the bigger school or whatever, then that's when we'll celebrate." But and oh, we're not accepting that. We're not accepting that. And they weren't talking to me, but I heard this person say it, and I kind of got offended because I'm like, really? You don't know what that person struggle through to get that. Oh, we're not celebrating that AA or what have you. I know the goal is always for some people to get the bachelor's or the master's, and even some to get the PhD. But every step there, that was a win for that person. you know it may not have been anything to you, but that was a win, or to the one who was saying we're not celebrating it, but that was a win for that person. And to negate that, or we're just not going to celebrate, it's like, it could be looked upon like a slap in the face to the individual who put the work in, who did it, who struggled through it, who sat up late writing papers frustrated or what have you. You know what I'm saying? And
Well,
that's
I
kind of
do.
this. Go ahead.
No, I do. But I think it's okay. So let's put it in full context. When the person made that comment, they had said that, this is great, really proud of this individual. It's really cool, but we're not going to celebrate it. We're not going to stop. It was more like we're not going to stop there. We're not going to celebrate the the 2 year. We want to, we want to make sure that they're looking and striving and going to do that. It wasn't as if they were negating it, but it's funny. I understood where the person was coming from, but it still felt like a slight, like, no, we're going to celebrate every little step. We talk about writing in journals, gratitude journals and all these different things and writing it down, and everything's to be celebrated every single day. But you can't say that on one hand and about being grateful and having gratitude, but then saying, oh, but we're not going to acknowledge or that
This right here, because it's
because we
not
want you to
the
move. We want you to go further. Even if you're halfway, you better celebrate that halfway.
well. Because what if I don't go any further than this?
And like you had said, you'd alluded to it earlier, like you don't know the struggles or the
Mhm.
challenges that this person went through to get where they are right now. This person needs to be celebrated. Understand that it's a process, and the things that got you here
Mhm.
are the same things that are going to get you to the next level. And we need to celebrate that, so that way you're that much more excited and having that zeal to really go out and continue to do the labor, the things that aren't fun, to stay up late at night studying when all your friends are going out partying and what have you, because you're doing it because I got this paper I need to turn in. Same thing when it comes to our relationships.
Mhm.
When you're taking a look at, for somebody says, oh, well, what they doing? Why are they celebrating year, 6?
Yeah.
Year 6, they ain't nothing.
Right. What?
What? Look, every day that you make it, it
Hey.
needs to be celebrated when it comes to
Exactly.
your marriage and your relationship.
Exactly.
We're coming up on 25 years next year, and we've got some things that we have planned, but it's not about, uh, people are going to, I guarantee people are going to say, oh my God, it's your 25 year. What are you going to do? We made a decision that we're not going to do anything massive or big specifically for our anniversary.
We are on 26 though.
But I was alluding to that. We just said, we're going to do it on our 26th. And somebody is going to say,
Why?
26,
Right.
why
Right.
26?
Right.
What'd you guys do for your 25th? Oh, nothing. We didn't, we did something else because we got some other plans, well, but somebody's always going to look down and say, oh, why would you do that? And it's not about, the pomps and the circumstance of the having a title around like the 25 year or the 4 year degree or your master's degree. It's a celebration of accomplishment, period.
Hmm.
Come on, y'all. You know that what you're going through right now in your relationship, whatever it may be, it might be like this dude, if he squeezes the toothpaste from the middle one more time, I'm going to choke him out, just like the middle of that toothpaste. And the morning that he gets to, he's like, oh, you know what? I know this bugs her. Let me squeeze all this toothpaste up from the bottom and roll it up or whatever. When you go into the bathroom and you see that the toothpaste was squeezed the way that you wanted it squeezed, or you see that the toilet paper roll is on the toilet paper, or is on the roll the way that you like it, there's that age old argument, which way is it, under, or is it over?
Hmm.
But if you see that the person went out of their way to do it the way that you like it, please celebrate that.
And how does that make you feel? How does that make you feel when you're like, okay, the toothpaste been squeezed the wrong way, and then one day you go in there and you're like, he did it the way I like it. That makes you feel good.
It
And I
does.
want to, not because I have to, but I want to be like, okay, I'm gonna do something. I'm competitive like that anyway. Lovey can't outlove me. I have to be the better lover as far as like
Be the better lover.
well, you know what I'm
Hey,
saying.
come on, be the better lover. I'm loving that. Hey, I like that competition.
Whatever.
I'm
But
gonna throw the race. Look, I'm just gonna be like them boxers taking a dive. I'm like, she's gonna try and be the better lover. Let me just go ahead and let me just fall and let her be the better lover.
no, now see, you already set yourself up. Nope. But
No.
you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean that's just how I think about it. I'm like, because I enjoy, because I know you'll be happy about it. And
Well, then close the cabinet.
no, I can't. You look forward to closing the cabinet in the morning. It's so funny too. I was like, oh, it's time for me to open all these cabinets up again. I haven't done that in a while. So it's coming.
No, but you're right though. It's a cool kind of feeling when it's a big part of why I didn't do it this morning because I was so tired. But I love making the bed.
Yeah, I came home from work and I was like, oh,
But
no,
I
I'm just playing.
but I love making the bed because I know you like when you come home and the bed is made
Mm-hmm.
and it's all it's a certain way. And plus, I just like it helps me have something accomplished. Um,
So you didn't accomplish nothing
I didn't
today?
accomplish nothing today, not the way I wanted to because I did not make the bed. But no, but it's just but when you do that and you get that acknowledgement, when you get that little tiny milestone is celebrated, it does inspire you to go, oh, let me do something else.
Mhm.
Let me do a little something else.
I feel appreciated. I mean, when you celebrate me or you say, "Oh, babe, I know this," blah blah blah, or "Oh, that's what," it makes me feel good. And when I feel good, then I help you feel good because I'm not just being grouchy or grumpy or whatever. You lift the spirits of when you lift the spirits of your spouse, there's like a little bit more pep in their step. And so, of course, I feel like they're looking for ways to
To
pay it,
reciprocate.
yeah, pay it forward in kind to you. So it's not just about what you do for them. What you do for them, you're also helping yourself. If you think about it.
True, but I mean, don't seek. Don't make it like
Oh no,
a
yeah,
quid pro quo. Which
not
you do
based
something
on
for me, I'll do something for
reciprocity.
you.
Yeah,
No,
no.
but it is
I
about
I say that though to Lovey though.
yeah, you do. I was like, let me give you a little bit more then.
Exactly.
But it's one of those things where you just need to truly, truly, truly celebrate all of the milestones, and I think that the way that you can do it best is recognizing that the little things that we do, take a moment if you can tomorrow when you start to do something, whether it's brushing your teeth or it's making the coffee in the morning or whatever. Think about what life would be like if you couldn't do that little thing or something that you and your spouse do together all the time. What would life be like if you guys couldn't do if you're used to going for a walk and you're like, oh my God, we got to go for a walk. What would life be like if you didn't go on those walks?
Mm.
Not just the one in that moment, but all of them. Would you be losing? Would you feel like you're losing something by not doing that? Like we haven't played pickleball in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Gizmo. We haven't played in a while. Um, but I feel like we're losing something because we both really enjoyed playing pickleball. We just haven't, for whatever reason, we haven't made time for it like we used to.
Mm-hmm.
And I never thought in a million years that I would miss, just going on the court and playing with you. And it's something I want to get back to. So it's like I'm taking my own advice where I'm like, oh, you know what? I really enjoy that. And I want to get back. I want to celebrate that, and I want to look forward to us getting back out there again. And there's other little things, like when Snooks makes tacos, something that simple. It's like it used to be like the go-to meal, but oddly enough, when Snooks announces to the family, like, "You guys feel like tacos?" Our family goes nuts. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, yeah, yeah, yeah!" And then like they will change plans. Like, "Oh, okay, what was I doing? Okay, I was supposed to go over so and so's house. Uh, you know what? Let me tell them I'm going to be late, or let me tell them, or they'll negotiate. Okay, can you make me 3 and nobody touch it? And then
Oh, good
then it's a
Lord.
big deal.
Yeah.
Nobody better touch my tacos. And they have put like in packages and wrote like in big red letters, "If you eat my tacos, I will kill you."
So let's just be real. When they say nobody better eat my tacos, they're really saying, Dad, you better not eat my tacos. Lovey eats everything that belongs to other people.
How is that even relevant?
I just,
That is not even relevant. No, nobody needs to be busted out
but you're not gonna make it
because I'm
sound
like
like
I'm the
we
food
in
thief.
here. You're not gonna make it seem like we in here eating up everybody else's food. It's just
I ain't gonna
Lovey.
lie. You know what? When it comes to certain things, I am Debo up in this house.
So let me tell y'all,
I've been walking up instead of snatching a chain. I'm like, "You gonna give me that cake, punk? I'm gonna eat your cake. Quit crying."
so when something's in, they be like, "Ma, is this yours?" I'm like, "No, that's not mine." Oh, it must be Dad's. I'm about to eat it. So now they take joy in finding something in the refrigerator that they think belongs to their father so they can eat it.
Yeah, so I got the reverse Debo going on right now. but okay, we're joking around, and it's the truth. But it's these little things, right? So something as simple as tacos, you got to celebrate them. So take a moment. Here's an exercise. Take a moment and think about what is something that has become, I don't know, trivial, something that you do that is really, no matter how small, no matter how big, but it's something you guys do all the time and you're kind of known for, or, but it's also something that that you guys started taking for granted. Take a moment to even think, okay, what could that possibly be? Like, oh, there's nothing. Give it some time. I guarantee there's at least three or four different things that you do that are in your mind trivial, but you started taking it for granted. And if you identify something, take a moment to express gratitude for that thing and then begin to celebrate it. Make it a big deal again, even if just for a few times. One of the things that we've taken that I won't say I've taken it for granted, but it's something I look forward to. We pray together every single morning,
Hmm.
no matter how busy we are running around during the week. We pray every single morning before Snooks leaves the house. And there's times where I'm half asleep, and then I'll wake up again like, did we pray? We did pray. We did pray. And and I'm fully awake, and I'm sitting there trying to focus on what she's saying sometimes when I'm like barely awake, but we're praying together. And there have been sometimes like on the weekends, let's be real. On the weekends, we don't do it. It's like it's a weekday thing where we pray together, but on the
Yeah.
weekends we don't do it. We've done it a
Well,
few
I was about to
times,
say we don't do it as often. We like, oh shoot, it might be 3 o'clock. Did we pray this morning? Nope.
but I guarantee you this: when we're during the week, Monday through Friday, we do not leave this house without praying with each other. But for whatever reason, when it's the weekend, we relax and we don't, and that needs to be part of the algorithm even on the weekends.
Hmm.
But it's about recognizing something that's important. So we celebrate the milestone, celebrate every single milestone, whether it's, hey, we pray together again, this is good, or if it's tacos, or if it's, you know, you're celebrating, anniversary number 12, not the 10-year anniversary, not the
Right.
15-year anniversary, year 11,
Hmm.
year 3. You know what? So those little things. Do you remember? I'm going to give you a simple exercise. Do you remember the day that you met your spouse or your significant other? I know ours. I know Snooks knows it too because we've talked about it a gazillion times. I know the date. If you could think back to the date, look on the calendar, get on your phone, go all the way back to the year that you met. Think about when you met, look for the date. If you don't remember it, make one up around that ballpark and celebrate that day because I think it's worth celebrating everything. And you'll be surprised that when you start celebrating the little things, how much more other things either start to stand out to you, or you'll start to find out that things that were giving you some heartburn, things that you were upset about, really aren't near as important as you thought they were.
Also, I think the more you celebrate, the easier it gets for you to celebrate. Some people, like Lovey was saying, just celebrate, period. Small things. We have a tendency to be like, I ain't doing that. That's just so trivial. That's so small. It don't nobody care about. No, somebody does care about it. Make sure you celebrate it every day that we wake up and we're able to function and we're able to look at our spouse and be able to say I love you, and they're tangible, we're able to touch them. That's a blessing, that's worth celebrating. And if we look at it that way, maybe I should say maybe if we looked at it that way, we would be more inclined to smile more. We wouldn't let the small stuff get next to us so much, because somebody didn't wake up with their spouse today.
Amen.
Someone is not going to wake up with their spouse tomorrow. And I guarantee you, when your spouse is not there, you're not going to be thinking about what they did wrong. You're going to be thinking about how you wish you would have celebrated them more, because you don't have them with you anymore. And if you think about what they did wrong, you'll be thinking, dang, that wasn't even really that big of a deal. Why did I waste my time focusing on
Come on.
that when I could have been focusing on this? Had I known that I would only have this much time left, I would have done this. So I always love that little saying, dance like no one's watching,
Mhm.
love like there's no tomorrow, whatever it is. But we should have that kind of attitude. We should have the attitude like, um, I'm gonna laugh, I'm gonna dance like no one's watching, because I know ain't nobody watching. I mean, I get down for real, for real. I'm thinking I'm back in 1990 when I was at the club. But we need to have um that type of joy, that type of zealousness, you know, for our spouse and for the love that we have with our spouse. And we need to really just be thankful
Mhm.
because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
We really don't. And so I don't know that I've ever told you this, but
You didn't.
when so I belong to several different marriage groups on Facebook, and invariably as you scroll, there's all these questions and you give encouragement and what have you, but almost every single day, because there's thousands and sometimes tens of thousands of people that participate in some of these groups. Every single day, I want to say that there is at least one post from somebody saying they just lost their spouse
Mm.
and asking for prayers. And it's crazy because some people scroll, but there's times where I've stopped. I'm like, oh, I need to say a
Quick prayer.
quick prayer.
Hmm.
Let me say a quick prayer. It's no more than maybe two or three sentences, but it's a quick prayer on their behalf. And then it makes me really think about what we have and the couples that we work with, our clients that we work with, and then the ones that we kind of counsel, so to speak, on the side. Some friends, family, people that have been referred to us, and not necessarily getting coaching, but they want to just chat and have a conversation. It makes me think about these individuals and to say a quick prayer for all of us. But it really does put in perspective that at any given moment, and a lot of these stories, it's not like, oh, they've been sick for so long or whatever. A lot of it is just unexpected, and it's crazy. I just lost my spouse to whatever car accident, whatever, something freak. It, it's it will really put things in perspective if you take a moment. If you don't belong to a Facebook group, that's especially if you're married, join one or two, because there's some great ideas for when it comes to date nights. There's a variety of different things that are out there, but I think a lot of times you'll gain a better appreciation for what you have as well.
Hmm.
So
And celebrating doesn't have to look like, oh, I got to go out and spend a ton of money.
right,
I think a lot of times we get that mixed up. We always think monetary, uh, what has to be done monetary, and not just the person that's giving the gift, the person that's receiving the gift too. Make sure that you're not just looking for the monetary things. It's the appreciation and the sincerity that whatever that someone is giving you know be sincere and be appreciative, because if you can't be appreciative, that's not going to make them want to give you anything.
right, and that's the truth. So look, you guys,
Uh-huh.
celebrate every single milestone and take a moment to recognize the milestone
Mm,
and then celebrate it.
right.
All right. So what we're gonna do now is actually get the I can for couples. She always acting brand new, acting surprised, like, oh, I gotta get the
Oh my
can.
god, I gotta get again.
So of course, this is the I can for couples.
I
It's on
don't
our website
always
for
act like
less than
that.
$10. For $10, this can will love you a long time. And what you do is it's these little tiny
Yes.
affirmations that are in there. It's just 40 different affirmations in every single can. Little things that you can do to show your
Let me
appreciation.
see
So
what mine says.
mine says, I can keep my promises. And one of the promises that I made was that we are going to be going to Jamaica with the family to celebrate the youngest accomplishment of graduating from high school and moving on to college, and just getting her first job. Today was the first day on her
First
job.
day on her first
So I'll
job.
keep my promises by
So we're celebrating that.
celebrating. Yep.
And mine says, I can gaze at my partner and just smile.
Hey, smile. So notice how if you were watching on YouTube, she just like smiled and then is like, then went back to the serious face. So again, we want to thank each and every one of you. Hey, tell your mama, tell your auntie, tell your cousin, tell everybody to listen to the Married into Crazy podcast. Check us out on YouTube as well as listening on all the different venues. Every major venue when it comes to podcasts, we are on. And we would love for you to invite your friends and family to join, listen, subscribe, so we can continue to grow the conversation. And reach out to us on our webpage, marriedintocrazy.com, because the marriage coaching business is thriving. We love the couples that we're working with. We've got a few more slots that we're making available. So definitely go there. And if you think, you know what, I want to just see if this is right for us, do a discovery call. And it's simple. You just go ahead, book an appointment. It's free. And we'll talk for about 15, 20 minutes to kind of determine whether or not we're a good fit and see if there's even a need to actually work with us.
Right.
So all in all, we appreciate you guys. I hope you appreciate us as well. Or
I
at least her.
appreciate you. I appreciate you.
So see, I'm going to celebrate that. So, hey, until the next time, be blessed.
Bye bye.